Okay, here we go. For posterity, today we are going to be doing some gold conquests with my Loki deck. And a couple things of note. The Loki deck that I'm running has historically been treating me pretty well. But with the meta in its current position, it's not the best. And there's this weird dynamic where, I mean, this is present in any collectible card game, but there are quote-unquote better lists that I could be running that are just stronger in the metagame, are going to be more favored in more common matchups. But I'm deeply unfamiliar with those decks. Less unfamiliar with some of them, but I just am not at the professional level with a lot of these quote-unquote better decks. And what that means in practice is I am, in my estimation, more likely to lose with a better deck than I am with my tried and true and tested and extraordinarily comfortable Loki situation. At least for now. In the coming days and weeks, particularly with Arishem coming out next week, in the shifting meta and all that, I think that I might get my arms around a little bit, quote-unquote, of a better deck. Or frankly, maybe this is where it needs to be and I'm just playing not so great recently. Hard to know for sure, but to wit, today I have 25 gold tickets to burn through. And only, how can you tell how much is left in the season in this UI? Only, that ain't it. 1 week and 4 days to go through those 25 tickets. And I ain't gonna get through all those tickets, so the penalty for losing, not that great. We're just gonna get through it, get some medals, have some laughs, and hopefully have a nice time together. The specific Loki list that I'm playing, and let me confirm in the stream manager this is visible, yes, is it's a bit of a unique one in that it has Blink in it, which is not a common representation in pure Loki lists. And so what that does is allows me to guarantee a Loki I-5 as a backup at the expense of not having some other 4-drops that you might otherwise want to have. Tyler, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. This is the whole point. This game, I think it's super compelling, super interesting, very easy to learn, very hard to master. But that doesn't matter. The real reason that we are here is to hang out and have some laughs. And you're coming, if just for a moment, greatly appreciated. So, a couple things immediately. My opponent is playing some kind of discard list, which I am generally unfavored against. But I have Loki in hand and think that I might be able to cheat out some kind of win. So we snap and hope for the best. We'll go ahead and do this and this. Feeling pretty good. Tyler, how are you doing? How's life? You still in San Francisco?
Gotta run, hun.
Fun. Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you joining me on this, a work day. So I have a couple of choices here. My opponent, running a pure discard list with the actual discard tools he needs to win, is in a commanding position left. And so I could try and compete with my own Morbius in the Onslaught Citadel lane, but I don't think that's ever going to work. I think the best chance I have of winning is honestly just bailing on that and seeing what we draw. That said, we have basically unlimited mana, so I'm kind of inclined to just pass in its entirety. Really hope he doesn't hit me.
I am reborn.
That's exactly what he hit. Actually, that's not going to matter that much. Yeah, that makes sense that you would do that. So he is... The question is, my Dracula is going to be the biggest thing that I can do here. The question is, where do I want to play the Dracula to compete? I think probably this is the move here. You know what, my Apocalypse isn't even going to get that big. I guess if it's a Dracula, isn't going to get that big. That said, I think that we just do, like, it's honestly, this is the most important. What I'm adding in the right lane, I'm adding 4 plus 4. I'm adding 8 power. I think I want to... So, the thing is, this is now for all the marbles, if I stay in this game. And my opponent has in his hand 2 cards, and he's probably going to... The question is, am I favored enough in this matchup in my own ability to overcome this deficit and retreat now, or just let it rip? And I think I just kind of want to let it rip. So we're going to do that. I am probably going to lose here, but that's fine. And his drag... I mean, unless he's a fool, yeah. There was no winning that one.
Apocalypse.
That's totally fine. Happy to just call that good rather than grind out my eventual loss. Fist bump my opponent, move my check so I can properly concede. And move on to the next of the 24 gold tickets. Now, there was absolutely an argument to be less aggressive with the snapping and more conservative with the staying in. And that particular discard list isn't crazy overwhelming against a Loki list like some of the Hela stuff is. But in truth, I am kind of in this for speed now. If my opponent is willing to just throw 8 cubes into the middle, I'm happy to beat him halfway and just keep going through these gold tickets, because I'm just not going to get through them. Nexus has been a little less fun since Nocturne was introduced to the game, and I was foolish enough to not spend resources to acquire Nocturne when she was in the Spotlight cache. But not every deck is running Nocturne, so it's possible that we have a shot here. Speaking of a shot, this is a decent hand. I do not know what my opponent is playing, but with my Jit down and stealing cards and generating cards, I am in an okay spot. That said, if my opponent is doing a Silver Surfer list, looks like they're not. This is, I'm not sure what deck runs Widow and Mystique. We'll see. That actually favors us. So now, well, I was going to say a thing here is if I play Coulson in the Danger Room and he dies, I lose the blink of it all, but I think I'm likely to just probably play one. If I play Coulson and he dies, I can always just get Cosmo down the next turn and call it good.
I found the rock.
Well, that's actually pretty interesting. Is there a Legion line that I like making? It's fun to Legion the Nexus, but actually you want the most power left, and he's likely to be able to... You know, frankly, maybe even that I do want to do that, because my opponent's probably going to have a gigantic Darkhawk. The alternative here is doing something like a Namor... or rather... Snowguard Cosmo into Blink on... Maybe that's the play, honestly. Something like this, and then I can Blink on 5 and guarantee a Loki, and then hope that that's enough because I'm going to have so much mana. I think we're going to do that.
Hey, I found a rock.
Ah, well, this actually... Well... I guess it's some kind of surfer situation. Another quote-unquote problem. I am not as crazy comfortable in this like meta of knowing like what exactly list runs Korg and Brood and Beast. It's not clear to me. That said, I am guaranteeing a Loki here, and I've got Quinjet down. And I don't know if I am quote-unquote favored, but I'm not feeling awful about my situation. I really don't know what his list is. With Brood. Mystique makes sense for a Darkhawk situation. Oh, okay. That checks out.
Aid my hand.
Probably could have seen that coming. It's got no cost reduction. Oh my god, of course, it's Cerebro 2. Why on earth did I not see that? Okay, can I beat Cerebro 2? I know he doesn't have his Mystique. That's going to be tough. How big can I get? Athena will go to 4. Cerebro 2 is just an awful into this matchup as an aside. Let's think about it like this. He's going to go to 16. Can I beat 16 right? The most power that I can get right is just any random 2-drop. Let's call it this. So that goes to 4, 6, 11. It's 11 power total. That's not a win. Oh, and I can get... No, that's also not a win. That's just a retreat. That said, I am so unfavored into Cerebro 2.
Escaped.
That if I had any mathematical shot of winning, I would go there with a snap, but I literally don't. I know exactly how much power my opponent can get there, and I can't compete with it. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't see Cerebro 2 much earlier. Not very good at this game sometimes. Well, I feel pretty good about this. He also feels pretty good about this, but I can just bank on him not having the Cerebro of it all. I'm I was talking about favored, unfavored last matchup, or last match. It's even more pronounced here. I just do not have my Loki list does not have a ton of independent power that it can put on its own. It really, really banks on putting Loki down on 4 or 5 and just using their cards to win the game. And you just can't do that with Cerebro, and particularly Cerebro 2. That said, we are not in the worst position in terms of kind of generating some randomness to hopefully pull this out just kind of mathematically, but not super thrilled about Conquest into Cerebro 2. Separately, this is maybe illustrative of just the fundamental, I'm reluctant to say failing of the Conquest mode in Marvel Snap, but it is really, truly shitty to be in the situation where... Tyler, Mr. Schmidt. Yeah, okay, so first of all, in your defense, that's absolutely what that script looks like. You're absolutely correct to think that, number one. And number two, that's a better name. We should write Marvel and be like, you should change Mr. Sinister's a bad name. Here's a better name. So we didn't get a ton of goodness off of the Coulson. Not ideal. The question is, do I want to try and get some kind of... Like, again, if I do Loki, that doesn't actually add a ton of interesting stuff to be able to win this. Heidi, thank you for joining us. I'm happy to report I'm gonna get trucked here. And I was talking about the nature of the fundamental nature of the failing of the Conquest mode in Marvel Snap, and I'm actually going to continue that line of thought after this turn. Because it is, quote-unquote, my excuse for losing this year. So one thing that I guess a little bit of an ace in my hole, if I really want to just shoot the moon, which is unlikely, is what I was... That's very... Yes, losing does provide another opportunity to win. That's a very healthy attitude. I could, in kind of in no particular order, if I Cosmo left and make a hero read that they're going to do Cerebro Mystique this turn, that turns off a lot of their stuff. But it seems unlikely that they would do that this turn. And if I do Cosmo, like, how am I getting other power elsewhere? That said, simply a Loki into a Storm on the last turn gives me some kind of quote-unquote options if I just truly whiff everything. God, you guys, two of the smartest people I know. Just some real big wisdom in the chat. You guys, a very healthy attitude. It makes it feel better for this mollywhopping that I'm in the process of receiving right now. All right, we're going to Loki. This is probably ill-advised, but we're doing it anyway. My hope is to pull a Storm to dramatically reduce the efficacy. Okay, so I got Storm, so that's something. Have fun, Heidi. Thanks for hanging out for a minute. All right, so if the idea is that we're going to throw... I maybe shouldn't have put Snowguard left, because I really needed to win that lane. The most power that I can add is maybe just this. I don't think that that's enough. But, like, what else can I do? If he plays Cerebro, he's still going to get the Cerebro power. That's going to take that all down by 1. Those will go to 3, then they'll go up to 5. So that just ties mid, and then I lose there, particularly. He does not have a ton of cards in his hand. I believe that this is the correct play, and I'm going to... Oh shit, yeah! I guess that's how you beat Cerebro. You have him not have Cerebro. Okay, so... in Conquest, I am locked into this match. Me and Schmitty, my opponent, are battling each other until our proverbial life bars drop to 0. Okay, sure, interesting. Who cares? Well... in other card games, in many other one-on-one matchups broadly, you have a concept called a sideboard in the situation. You're playing a fixed list of cards against the same opponent over and over and over again. And because, of course, you get the Abbey, why not? You lucky son of a bitch. Because there's counters and just unfavorable stuff in the matchup, you have the ability to swap out cards in your deck that just don't work in this matchup for ones that you've put on the side for the ability to bring to a matchup that you know is unfavored to make things more fair over time. Marvel Snap does not have this. So what's going on? We might do this. Maybe try and beat him out of Hala. Is I am playing my opponent Schmitty to the death. And he is running Cerebro 2. This is a deck archetype. It is pretty strong. Yeah, you bet you're strong. Is that... Oh, wait. Does that mean... That might read as... Storm. That snap reads to me a little bit like... I'm just going to retreat there. It's 1 cube. Now...
Escape.
My deck is a Loki deck, which... uniquely leans into Loki specifically. And by what I mean by that is my deck is built entirely around taking my opponent's deck, take it easy, Tyler, and doing what he does only a little bit more cost effectively. Cerebro 2, yeah, I know, you got it, buddy. I'm gonna hang out though. Is built around having no cards in his deck above 2 power. Well, that doesn't work. Taking his cards when I have things that are... it's Loki first. 2 power. So I am just unfavored against this matchup. I really just have no way to win. And I have no sideboard to swap in cards that might be favored against Cerebro 2. I am just in slow motion heat death against Schmitty here. And it doesn't feel good. It's... like, I can make some... I get very lucky. I can, you know, play my... Okay, of course. The punchline here is that unless I get extremely lucky, I am going to lose, I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose, and there's nothing I can do about it. And that feels pretty bad. Now, that said, I am, like, otherwise have a very, very strong hand in that I am going to be able to absolutely win this middle lane. But I just am not going to have the juice to take out, or to get over the top and win left whenever the time comes. I could snap in hopes that, like, I honestly think that maybe there's an argument there. I am going to get so friggin' huge middle that all I have to do is win left here. And that is a big challenge because it's Cerebro 2. But I'm not going to be in a better position kind of later in this grudge match, so we're just... doubling down. Really, this is probably going to be the last match because I'm likely going to lose. But I'm putting myself in the best position to win against Cerebro 2 in a way that I'm lucky to be able to do so. I mean, he might have, like, it's likely Shadow King is in his list, and that just kind of is what it is. It's just not great all around. I think I want to continue growing the Athena, so I think probably this is the play. Yeah, and if my opponent just has Shadow King, like, there was never, ever, ever going to be a point where I could win this matchup, and that's fine. Oh, I took a Shadow King! I might actually be able to win this. Incredible stuff. So, that's 23 right there. He's not going to be able to get 23. I think I just go all in. This is how we want to play that. This is the most power I can add left. I'm also turning off his Mystique, assuming he's going to play that left. If this is some kind of Shang-Chi madness, I can't understand how he could possibly win middle here. Yeah! Oh my god! That's...
Victory.
Okay. So, I should never have been able to win this conquest. I should never have been able to win this conquest. Cerebro 2 kicks my ass. It is about the most rock to scissors metaphor in this game. A Loki list that cannot put up power other than Thena and Angela, quote unquote, without Loki. Versus a Cerebro 2 list that has Shadow King in it. He's going to be able to beat me. If we play 100 games, I'm going to win under 15 of them. And hey, Binks, how's it going? So, it is very, very ill-advised for my opponent to be that aggressive with the snapping. We were playing for... He stayed in for 8. And really even going to 4 in that situation wasn't necessary. All my opponent has to do in that situation is just grind me to dust. There's just nothing I could do. And I guess he doesn't know how unfavored my list is. But the fact that I not only won that conquest, but that I did so 8-0, is unbelievable. So, I mean, I played it very well, and I put myself in that position to win, but my opponent let me have that. So, Binks, hope you enjoyed your last game with Angela. Okay, so I haven't quite memorized this yet, but Angela is going from 2-0 at 2 a click to 2-3 at 1 a click, which is, if you play no clicks, Angela's getting buffed, if you look at it that way. Of course, that's nonsense. And there's a break-even point where if you click her only once, she's going to get stronger, and I believe the break-even point is 2 clicks. I play this Loki list and play kind of Angela Loki a lot. Like, there's not a ton of other... Oh, 3 clicks is still break-even? Yeah, I'm kind of behind the times. I am not playing, like, capital A Angela. We're talking, with Falcon and Beast, like true bounce stuff. That is not what I do. I would say in most games, your average game, I'm playing Loki, I'm not playing Loki, it doesn't matter. I get 2 or 3 clicks out of a Kitty and maybe a click out of Jeff, and that's the ceiling. I am never going above that. In that match, that was the highest it would go. I think I got 5 clicks, and Angela went to 10. So I don't know if that Angela nerf is even going to have me change my list at all. I really think, well, I know for a fact that when the patch happens, I'm going to continue playing this exact list and just kind of see how it goes. But because it's not a nerf across the board, it's only a nerf if you're just clicking her repeatedly, I don't think it matters that much to me, and I'm going to keep going. That said, a new Loki win condition might present itself, and I might go with a whole different thing. But I'm not heartbroken. I mean, I do really like Angela. I have played Angela relentlessly. In fact, let's just for funsies, before we get into that game. Oh, shit, that's funny. Let's double check. But yeah, just for clarity, because this is non-trivial. If we go into my Angela, I have 2,500 boosters on Angela. I have played Angela a lot over the past year and a half. And I played her when she was way good and when she was trash and everything in the middle. And so I'm likely going to stick with her. So I'm still seeing 2-0. We'll see. Matt, welcome to the stream. It is now 2 o'clock. Like, do I have to reload the client? I really don't know how these OTAs work. I'm not seeing it in my Angela here. Whatever. And actually, let's swap in the... what am I doing? I'm running the wrong Angela there. We're gonna go. We're gonna continue with the next gold conquest. And again, I could not believe that I beat my opponent. And separately, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can now click on your opponents that you've defeated in Conquest and see their collection level and the highest they've gotten this season. That's a weird change. I don't know why they did that. I guess it's to have this report button. I expect them to revert this at some level. It seems really voyeuristic that I can see what their collection level is, and I don't necessarily want that information public for me. But it is what it is. You may want to close to restart game. Now, can I just keep going? Are there any bots in Gold Conquest. I don't know the situation. I probably should. But yeah, reloading the client, probably never a bad idea. I don't want to get into any kind of mismatch situation. I do not know how this works from this, like the stream of it all. I think now you guys are just looking at a blank screen. We're reloading the client. Hopefully everything remains the same. This is a good live test to see what happens. Untapped comes right back. That's wonderful. My chat is still there. This is marvelous. I guess question for the couple people that I know in chat. Binks, how's the move going? Are you in the middle of your move? And Matt, how's your day going? You got any tech mode streaming later? Or golf? I guess you've been doing NES golf. Also, Binks, I learned that there's a Twitch setting. Oh, you know, Matt, for you too. There's a Twitch setting where you could put, I mean, obviously you know this, like other streamers you like, and it's like when people come to your page and you're not live, there's a thing that says, hey, maybe check out these other folks. Didn't know that existed, so I've added Binks. Matt, if you care, I've added you as well. I know I've got like 15 followers, so I don't think it's going to move either of your guys' needles, but show appreciation. Oh god. Now how blown was your tire? Like there was just a nail and it was low pressure, or like I can't drive this car? Separately, and I don't know like the parameters of your move, but let me tell you, right about when I turned in my early 30s, I no longer did moves myself. The amount of money that it costs to pay professional adult humans to move my boxes and furniture and stuff, it has become the best money I've ever spent. And so I don't know if it's too late for you, or if you're doing this partially, or if you're even soliciting this wisdom. But broadly, spending money on movers is like the first place that I'll go moving forward. Okay, good. Glad to hear it. Yeah, right? It's really like a life-changing experience. All right, so to focus on this match for a moment, there's in most situations I would not put Thena on your island, but it's not looking like I'm going to be in a position to grow her organically. It's going to be 2 into 3 into 4 Loki, so I am going to put Thena on your island, even if that isn't otherwise something that you would do. And yeah, even in my untapped, I now see that Angela is 2/3, so that's funny that all works out like that. You know, frankly, not even moving by yourself, but just with friends and family, not like professionals. It just like it ruins friendships, relationships, whatever. Paying professionals is absolutely the way to go. That said, there was that's so funny. Moving during a monsoon. I mean, better you guys than me. Baron Mordo! Hang on, I want to talk about the moving, but also my opponent just played a I don't know what the hell is happening. Binks! Save me! What deck runs Iron Lad in Baron Mordo? Is this... I guess it's a Darkhawk situation? Oh, Ronin. It's Master Mold? What the hell is my opponent cooking? Yeah, obviously, now I see that. This is bonkers. Good for him. I'm not as unfavored here, I'm happy to report. Sorry, folks, I'm trying to talk and chew gum at the same time. Do I want... So Jeff is definitely going down on your island. Do I want to grow... I think probably a single turn of growth on... Athena is probably worth it. Separately, I'm playing, this is a little bit of poker here. I'm playing Iron Lad first deliberately because if it pulls Blink, I do not want my next card, or I don't want the Loki to go, or the Jeff to go away. And so by... that's That happens sometimes. Okay, well, my opponent has Red Hulk in hand. They got... Claw. They can move the Jeff. This is not a great scene. I think there's an argument to run here. I got an early Loki and really strong everything, but he can just move around and put his power in a place that I can't easily predict and just clock me. And I'm not that unfavored in this matchup, so I'm happy to give it one cube up. If this was, again, Cerebro 2 and I was in a similar situation, I would totally toss it. So what I was saying is in... yeah, they did. I might have stayed for 2 and just, like, gotten so blown out of the water it was stupid, but he did make that easy. Loki in hand is great. We just hope that we don't get screwed on locations. 10 years ago, I was hired at a tech company that, as part of their we hire you package. Do I want to... Cable or Angela? Probably Angela. They paid for my move across states, but not only did they pay for my move across states... Oh, yeah, give me a full hand. See how much I care. I actually might be extremely favored in this matchup, because I can often extremely dump my hand last turn. That said, it would sure be nice to have Quinjet down. I don't. It is what it is. I don't... Binks, here, you're my cheat code. Does this deck run Shang-Chi, generally? I would guess no. Shang-Chi isn't a card, as you like to say. But it sure would be nice to know if that was definitely true or not. So, Invisible Woman, I guess that means that they do Maximus stuff behind it? Oh, yeah, it's great advice to Loki on 4. I am not one of those guys that just holds it to 5 generally. I am a Loki on 4 always gamer, almost as a matter of course. Do something like this. And then I've got... How many cards in my opponent's hand? How empty can he make his own hand? Can Mordo him a little bit. I don't have Loki, so I always retreat when I see him. That's another thing. Part of why Loki is so great. And let me focus on this for just a moment. What I like to do in this situation is to go crazy hard on 2 lanes. So I can do... Let's see. Something like... thank you, Mr. Martin. I kind of like this. That said, if my opponent... and there are situations like this where people just throw New York, in which case I'm going to look really foolish. But I think that this is a winning line. Okay, my opponent did not throw New York. This feels like I can beat whatever he's plays. I am absolutely... Yeah. My opponent did the exact opposite of throwing New York. That was maybe even a snap. I'm jumping around with story. This kind of goes to the same thing where I generally feel favored in this matchup. So I don't need to do a bunch of edge cases, risky snapping in edge cases where he can do crazy move things and beat me with my own brain. He did win the hell out of middle. So it is generally correct. See, now here I can guarantee... My opponent snaps because he's... Does he maybe also have Darkhawk? I'm guaranteed a Loki on 5. Is this worth staying? I don't want to... I'm going to stay. There's an argument to retreat there, but I'm going to stay. Oh, okay, well... Should have saw that he was going to play Iceman. It was going to land directly on my blink, and I'm going to draw a rock. So, wonderful. Great. Game's going great. Thanks everybody for hanging out and seeing me. Okay, you draw a rock. That's... Binks, I don't need this. I'm glad that your tire blew. I hope that your move not like goes shitty, but like I hope your move now goes 5% worse. So you know, deal with it. We will grow here. I have to be aware of a claw. If I'm him, I think claw middle is going to be a wonderful thing to eventually work towards. So I'm not like, oh, hey, look at that. He drew Loki in spite of the peanut gallery. We're just going to go now, and we're going to put it on Muir Island. I'm losing a single point on Thena, but his cards are all pretty expensive. And why did Mordo? Oh, Mordo does it like that. Not gonna Iron Lad, I don't think, because of the whole kitty disaster that happened last time. Do I snap? I mean, he snapped first turn. Like, I'm scared. I'm scared, Binks. I guess I do have Ronin and Master Mold. Yeah, we can do that. Question is this committing too hard left? And like I want a Ronin middle. I think I kind of want a Ronin middle, to be honest with everybody. Maybe that. Yeah, you got a big old Ronin, buddy. Look at you. I'm so terrified. Now this is... I don't like what I've done to myself here. Well, I mean, I do. It's fine. We're totally throwing right. It's just a matter of where do I play my power. My opponent has the ability to move 13 power left. But I'm also... So, like, the question is he going to move just one card and then play another massive thing middle? I do not know what his remaining 3 cards are. I think... So one of the 2 cards I'm going to do is Master Mold. I think that probably this is the play. I think that that's probably... All in right is something I really didn't consider. Because I guess I am dumping my hand a little bit. That's intriguing. That honestly would not have occurred to me. I kind of like that. Binks, I kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of like this. And then I just kind of keep middle as is. I guess I'm scared of him moving everything left and then putting claw middle. I guess what can you do about that? But I'm shrinking my hand a whole bunch. Do I even want to go Jeff right? I kind of don't. Maybe I'm going to live to regret not moving Jeff to the right. Nope. Not moving Jeff to the right was the right move. The question is, am I big enough? Right, I might not be. Oh my. Whoo! I mean, I would have won with my line save, but get out of here, Doc Ock. Woo! Woo! Alright, we did it. In hindsight, I mean, that's a casserole. I don't know what. I just had a whole cup of coffee. I'm very in my own head about it. Alright, so before I move on to the next match, I want to finish this anecdote. 10 years ago, I was hired by a tech company. They paid for my move. But there was some category of payment that they did where the move that they paid for was a we pack it for you move. And so, like, I'm in touch with the movers and, like, don't do shit. Just clean, of course, but we will come and take care of everything. And so I didn't do, like, I unplugged electronics and you know, spent probably an hour and a half prepping. But then this tornado of men came to my apartment and did it all. They're pulling everything out of every bit of storage, putting in boxes, labeling it, and I'm just sitting there. And before I knew it, everything was gone from my apartment. And when the movers arrived, they unpacked as much as you can in that situation. But it was unbelievable. It was almost incomprehensibly luxurious. I have no idea what it cost, but every subsequent move, I've thought, should I, like, look into that? Like, that was so nice. And I have to expect it costs $1 trillion, but I mean, that was over 10 years ago, and I remember that day being like, there's no way this is going to work, and it worked. They unpacked and set up, like, as best as I think they could. That was a little bit of a blur. But, yeah, for the most part, I think if I had wanted them to, they would have done everything. I think I stopped them. I didn't own a ton of objects. But, yeah, no, it was really, really nice, but I believe it cost a fortune. So, yeah, once again, we can go back and see what my opponent's stats are. That's a weird feature that they've added. That's funny. So, Binks, are you still in here? I can't... The all-in right play, that just never would have occurred to me. That is a... this is a hole in my game. I really need to be thinking about stuff like that because, yeah, obviously, very likely, my opponent is going to just focus on the other lanes, and that's exactly what he did, and I just did not read that line. That's... Yeah, no, you're right. The thing is with the thing with win 3-lane profit frequently, and how I go about this, is not win 3-lane profit. I'm ahead... and I, like, spread my power around to win 3-lane profit, and then my very smart opponent abandons ship in one lane and just does an all-in on the other two, and I get crushed, and I win one lane by a medium amount, and I lose 2 lanes by a small amount, and I feel like an idiot every single time. That situation, I think that was objectively correct. That's maybe the single biggest hole in my otherwise exemplary game. Is that turn 5 where to focus everything. Alright, so a couple bits here. Altar of Death is neat in that I have a Snow Guard right now, and that's cool. But my opponent, Sous Chef, is very good. I have played against him many times, and I have it in my head that they are no slouch, so that's not ideal. Alright, Binks, you have a good move, my friend. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Thank you, Matt, for hanging out. You guys are the best. I'm probably going to quit after this one anyway. I really appreciate the support. What does Mysterio mean? So that's the real Mysterio middle, we can almost guarantee. Would have really liked to have had that Elsa. Next turn we can do something like Coulson Kitty. Maybe I don't want to just discard somebody's hand that actually does not. I think that this is maybe the right play. I maybe should snap here. It generally feels like I'm pretty ahead. I'm actually going to do that. It's not because I'm feeling like incredibly good. In fact, I'm very unsettled, but my opponent has not put a ton of power on, and I think I could notch them and maybe get over an Altar of Death when they can't. That's maybe an ill-advised snap. No, okay, that was the right move.
Victory.
They're running Kitty. I can do a little of this. This feels pretty good. That's maybe even snap worthy. That's not going to do that, but what does that mean? I'm not going to retreat. But that either means he's going to, like, that means Red Guardian maybe? I don't know. I really don't know what that snap means, if he's doing it in response to what I played or the location. We got a little ahead on the Black Vortex, so that's cool. Athena is correct, probably. That said, I have priority, and if it is Red Guardian, I don't really want it to hit Athena, so maybe this is correct. It must be Mobius. I don't know why I'm focused on Red Guardian specifically. Wow, we're playing the same stuff. Did not know Elsa was a draw that I maybe should have been considering happening. I think that we keep going with the Grow-Thena train. Neither of those particularly compelling. Oh, I'm actually going to prevent a draw for myself here. I really wasn't thinking about that. That said, I'm going to be able to do Elsa stuff, so that's cool. What does Ravona mean? I guess Iron Man is a consideration. Also do not know where the real Mysterio is. That is something that we saw coming. So I think that we do this. I'm not going to snap back, and I might lose here, but this is the proverbial Binks win all 3 lanes profit, where I think that he has the ability to cook me here as I play strong-ish in all 3 lanes. But I'm fairly comfortable with this line. Red Skull's kind of huge. And also, quote-unquote, didn't start in my deck. I guess an alternative would be... No, I like... would be Snowguard, an extra... I can't fill up that lane and take advantage of Elsa in the right lane. I don't... Hang on one second. Let's undo this turn. So like something like this, that's 6 power, that's I lose the 3 on there, but I get bigger. Is this better? Oh no, because the Cosmo didn't start in my deck, so it would be something like this. And that's adding an extra... No, I believe that this is the most power. The thing is, he might just throw left. Okay, did not throw left. Ah. Yep, that cooks it. For future reference, he played the real Mysterio left. So I thought I didn't snap back, but yeah, Iron Man, it's tricky. I wonder what he had in his hand that made him snap. I guess it was probably just Mysterio Mockingbird. And I don't think that... I mean, I almost played Cosmo. Had I done... But she wouldn't have grown. So if I did... That would have been an extra 7 there, but 3 fewer. 17. 19. No, I would have lost even if I had done The Cosmo playlet. What does my opponent have that is a 1-drop that is cheap? I think that I can
Oh, snap.
get bigger than them here. So if I Snow Guard, this is maybe this goes back to where maybe I shouldn't be doing this, being that much aggressive with the snapping and something where I could be favored. But if I Snow Guard here and win the lane, I can then play Snow Guard Bear with my now 3 mana and then keep Blackstone kind of for the rest of the game. Yeah. And so snapping is kind of correct. I have not seen a 1-drop from him that's capable of taking that on turn 1. On reveal twice. What does that do for either of us? I don't know if it's much. I will, let's see. I could Thena right, but I also don't want to automatically lose. I think we're going to Thena middle. I'll feel really dumb if it's some kind of Luke's Score situation. That's almost a snap now that I think about it. This is a pretty good situation. That said, like he could play Juggernaut and just move stuff into Murder World, and I don't like that at all. Okay. This is a lot of power that I'm focusing middle that I maybe otherwise would not do. Actually, I can just Cosmo. This is fine. This is fine. Can do... Oh, well, just kidding. Can do... I do not know if I really should be doing Cosmo instead of Kitty, but... I kind of like Kitty. Excuse me, Elsa. Cosmo instead of Elsa. We're doing that. And yeah, I think my opponent might be just throwing middle. No, that's not right. We do this into this. How... What lane do we ultimately want to fight for? And I do have to be aware of the old Juggernaut of it all. I think I probably want to do this, honestly. And you know what? I'm snapping. This is a little bit of a boomer snap. And maybe also ill-advised because, again, he can really do some Juggernaut stuff to kind of really mess me up. But I feel like I'm in a pretty commanding position middle, and I wouldn't be surprised if he can't easily deal with it. Okay, well,
I am Iron Man.
question is, does he have Juggernaut in hand? Because if he does, I'm kind of screwed. A very nice way to win this game would be this. But a Juggernaut right, excuse me, a Juggernaut left cooks me pretty good. And if I'm him, that's probably what I'm looking at doing.
Opponent.
Yeah, that's what this reads as to me. So then, is it in fact something like this? So if he does Juggernaut... A Juggernaut left into, like, a... he moves Nocturne and then puts Mockingbird down right. Like, that's a bunch of power. Can I just get bigger than that? I think I might have this. I think I might be big enough. Unless he doesn't have cards in his hand. Oh, no! Oh, I called it for exactly. But it was not to be. Yeah, let's see. How could I have done that differently? Yeah, call the joke. So I was never going to win left. I actually think that really all I could have done is retreat. I'm just playing this back. I would have needed something like... How full could I have made the right and middle? Yeah, that was just hard to see. I don't think I could have retreated there. But I also... Yeah, this is a good deck. This is a good deck whenever you got Iron Man down on 5. It's a control... I like his list. I like that list a lot. I wonder what his last cards are. Well, Jeff is one of them. I don't know. Yeah, I like that list. Also, I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference, but Morph didn't get the... it's an interaction I was unfamiliar with, that Morph does not get Elsa buffs whenever you play him on the last spot. So that would have been, you know, had I completely saw that coming. I believe I had the mana to play this instead, and that would have been an extra 3 power, but of course that's not enough. Yeah, what I really needed to do was just see that the real Mysterio was right. I was never going to be able to get there. I just kind of took too long to think about it. But that was good. That was good. I'm glad I didn't lose that much more slowly and painfully. And again, I have so many of these tickets, it does not ultimately matter. $23. Cool. Well, that was super fun. I think I'm going to call the stream there. I want to thank the folks for hanging out. If you have not already done so, please follow so that whenever I go live in the coming days that you can see me again. That said, I'm traveling over the weekend, but I expect to get right back into this at the beginning of next week. It's going to be Arisham time. I'm very, very excited. Thanks so much for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.